Hello, guys. Welcome back to TFD. Boom. And just like that, man, the whole thing is falling apart right in front of everybody's eyes. The unrivaled ratings didn't just dip, they flat out tanked, fell off a cliff. And none of this should surprise you, because I've been telling y'all from day one. Nobody was talking about it, nobody was hyped for it, and nobody was checking for it. You can't fake momentum. You can't manufacture interest. If people don't care, they don't care. And then, right on cue, here comes the lockout news. Yeah. I keep seeing folks online talking about a status quo period. Stop it. The WNBA owners are done. No more extensions, no more dragging this thing out. They're finished with the games. I told y'all weeks ago that negotiations stopped more than 2 weeks back. Complete radio silence. That's not strategy, that's a shutdown. This thing is real, and it's happening whether people like it or not. Now, let me be clear before anybody twists my words. I'm not happy about this. I want Caitlin Clark on the floor. I want basketball. I want growth for the league. But wanting something doesn't mean you ignore reality. We have to talk about what's actually happening, not what people wish was happening. All right, let's get into it. The whole Unrivaled Paige Bueckers campaign is not working. And listen, shout out to Paige. She can hoop. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Talent-wise, she's one of the best shooting guards in the league. Smooth game, skilled, fundamentally sound. No debate there. But you cannot lie about star power. You just can't. Star power shows up in ratings, ticket sales, and interest. And this right here, this ain't it. Look at the numbers. Really look at them. You're telling me opening night couldn't crack 50,000 viewers? Stop playing with me. What are we even talking about at this point? These ratings are down over 60% from last year. 60%. That's not a slump, that's a collapse. Nobody's watching. And I mean nobody. Even content creators who built entire channels around unrivaled content are seeing it. No clicks, no engagement, no buzz. People are not interested in this 3-on-3 setup. And look, I'm not mad at anyone for trying something new. Innovation is fine. Experimentation is fine. But results matter. And this is where Naismith, the leadership, all of them start looking real shaky. Talking about, yeah, we know how to run a sustainable business where everybody makes money. Based on what? Because if these ratings keep looking like this, TNT is not sticking around. Networks don't do charity, they do numbers. And these numbers are embarrassing. Here's the real problem. The ratings aren't about to go up. They're going to keep going down. This was opening night. This was your moment. This was supposed to be the big splash. Opening night is when curiosity peaks. Opening night is when casual fans tune in just to see what's going on. And they still didn't care. What makes anyone think people are suddenly going to become more interested weeks from now? That's backwards. Opening night should be booming, then maybe you stabilize. Instead, it's dead on arrival. That's nasty work. Straight nasty. And don't even get me started on the scheduling. Why were games so early? Who thought that was a good idea? Who signed off on that? Even the night games underperformed. This is why fumbling Caitlin Clark was such a disaster. Firm tone. If Caitlin Clark was part of this league, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Millions of viewers. Millions. The numbers would have been through the roof. And this is why people are tired of being sold this line of, it's not just her, it's all of us. Okay, well, all of y'all are there right now, and nobody's watching. The math isn't mathing. You can't tell fans someone is a megastar when the evidence says otherwise. Paige Bueckers is skilled, measured cadence. Paige Bueckers is popular online. Paige Bueckers has name recognition. But that does not automatically translate to people wanting to sit down and watch games. Excitement matters. Drawing power matters. And last year, she had one of the lowest attendance figures in the WNBA. That's not hate, that's fact. People weren't buying tickets. People weren't tuning in. So stop trying to force fans to believe something they can clearly see isn't true. A player can be good without being a ratings driver. Both things can exist at the same time. Bottom line, Unrivaled better get it together fast, because with numbers like this, they are not going to be on TV much longer. Project B is coming next year. Alyssa Thomas is likely gone. Other names will be gone too. The grave window is closing. Y'all better figure it out, because these ratings, that's nasty work. And that's just the reality.
Now, let's get to this. ESPN said Liberty star and WNBA Vice President Breanna Stewart said the Players Association and WNBA will not agree to another collective bargaining agreement extension after the deadline passes Friday. The two parties instead will enter a period of status quo in which the league and union can continue negotiating. Translation? The WNBA owners are finished, completely checked out. I've been telling y'all this already. I was the first one to say negotiations stopped more than 2 weeks ago. The owners went silent, no responses, no movement. That's not strategy, that's a shutdown. Now you're hearing the PR spin about good faith and continuing talks. Miss me with that. That's just noise for the public. Behind the scenes, this thing is done. I tried to warn y'all, I said it was over when it was over, and now everybody's finally catching up. And now it's reached the point where WNBA players can't even use league facilities anymore. No access, no perks, none of the benefits that normally come with being a WNBA player. The owners never wanted this to stretch all the way to January 9th in the first place. They were only willing to do a short 14-day extension just to wrap things up quickly. That's exactly why negotiations stopped 2 weeks ago. From the owner's perspective, they already laid everything out. A $10.5 million cap, 30%. That was the offer. And when the players kept pushing past that, the owners basically said, "We're done. We've told you the deal already. Stop playing games." Alexa Phillip, who says, in this scenario, the current CBA would expire, but both sides would enter a status quo period, in which the conditions of the current CBA would be maintained and the league and union could continue negotiating. It would open the door for a work stoppage, though. Oh, this is absolutely heading toward a work stoppage. That door isn't just open anymore, it's already been walked through. I've been telling y'all from the jump. The owners are not about to bend the knee to the players. That's just not happening. And honestly, this whole unrivaled situation is making the player side look even worse right now. The owners now have way more leverage. Way more. Why? Because Unrivaled isn't pulling numbers. At all. The proof is right there. With no Caitlin Clark involved, there is no real interest. That's just the reality, whether people like it or not. I know that fact makes some folks uncomfortable, but facts are facts. Without Caitlin Clark, casual fans aren't tuning in. And I'll say this too. Unrivaled was more interesting last year when Angel Reese was involved. I'm just keeping it real. Paige Beckers is a very good basketball player, but she is not the draw Angel Reese is. With Angel, you had something. People liked her, people hated her, people tuned in just to see what she would do, or even what she would mess up. There was trash talk, there were confrontations, there was energy, there was conversation. Right now, there's nothing. No edge, no emotion, no reason for casual fans to care. We've been talking about this for months. Nobody is watching Unrivaled, and the owners already knew that. They didn't need these Unrivaled numbers to figure it out. We saw the same thing last year in the WNBA when ratings dropped more than 55% once Caitlin Clark wasn't in the picture. That's why the owners feel emboldened now. They see the leverage, and they're using it.
Now, here, Alexa Phillip retweet said the decision to not extend the CBA again. League sources believe both sides will get a deal done and there will be a 2026 season. Too much at stake if games are missed. But we may not see a new CBA for a little while longer. The possibility of a super condensed offseason is real. Oh, it's going to be condensed. Here said, and for whatever it's worth, the league has not been considering a lockout. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. At this point, the players need to come back down to reality and start talking real numbers. You're not getting 30%. You're not getting a $10.5 million salary cap. That's done. The owners have already told you what works for them, and they've made it loud and clear. Now it's simple. Either get in line with it or get left behind. That's the situation. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know where you stand. The owners are finished with the nonsense. I am done here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.